What are the updates for compensation for delays for passengers in the United States? Hi, I'm Morgan, and this is an aviation update. Although this is not directly related to safety, it is related to passengers and how you experience air travel, and it's something that should be on people's radar if you plan to fly in the United States. Today, the U.S. dropped a Biden plan to require passenger compensation for delayed flights. Airlines have pushed the Trump administration to go further and praised the action to rescind the Biden plan. So what was that plan? In December 2024, the U.S. Department of Transportation under then President Biden sought public comment on writing rules to require airlines to pay $200 to $300 for domestic delays of at least 3 hours and up to $775 for longer delays. Some have stated that this is a common sense proposal. When an airline makes a mistake, it imposes an unanticipated cost on families, and airlines should try to remedy the situation by providing accommodations to those customers. The stance of the Department of Transportation is that abandoning this plan to provide compensation for significant delays will allow airlines to compete on the services and compensation they provide to passengers rather than imposing new minimum requirements for these services. It is also worth noting that the Department of Transportation also announced in September that it was considering rescinding another regulation that required airlines and ticket agents to disclose service fees alongside airfares. All of these delays that are affected by this plan are ones which are controllable, so it's something that is the responsibility of the airline to manage ahead of time and in real time to ensure there are no significant delays. The Department of Transportation also said that this does not impact your entitlement to a refund. Airlines are required to provide a prompt refund to ticketed passengers. The stance of the Department of Transportation and the federal government on this is that by removing the plan, it allows airlines to be competitive and have a choice in what they're offering to their customer base, which could influence customer loyalty and choice. But from the consumer and customer perspective, that was the landscape prior to this plan being introduced, and airlines simply were not doing that. The other perspective from a customer or consumer base is that this is allowing airlines to make management choices that influence the experience of paying passenger and then not compensate or right that wrong. Although this does not affect safety directly, it will impact the experience of passengers. I think passengers should anticipate seeing more junk fees and higher junk fees and having a hard time finding out what those fees are for. And passengers should also anticipate delays and sort of a shuffling of responsibility when it comes to seeking compensation for extended delays.